What is up, guys? So today we're just going to do a little bit of a projects overview, just kind of tell you guys what the plan is with everything that we got going on, projects that are currently happening right now, and then I got a future project I'd like to tell you guys about. It's going to be a really big project, so should be quite a few videos on it, a few months to do. It's I don't have it yet, but I'm getting a 1981 Firebird. It's not a Trans Am, it's just a Firebird. It's got a 350 in it. I don't really know the whole story on it, but I'm going to be doing the entire suspension overhaul, painting the underneath of it, rhino line. I got to weld new floor pans in it. It needs a new rear end. The transmission's brand new and the motor should be a strong running motor. So that should be good, at least. But the plan with that is just kind of go through and restore the whole thing. I think it's been sitting for about 15 years. So I got to weld new floor pans in it. I got to put a whole new interior in it. I guarantee it's going to need tires. I want to get just a polyurethane like bushing kit for the suspension, new shocks and stuff like that. I'd like to powder coat all the components and then just rafter line the underneath of it. And then, essentially that'll just make it brand new. I guess the gearing in it isn't that great, so I'll probably get some 373 gearing or something like that, LSD. Rear end, I may do a disc brake conversion on it. I believe it has drum brakes in the rear. Maybe I'll get disc brakes, maybe I won't, I'm not sure yet. But I would like to make that thing cool, so I'm open to some ideas. I am just going to get a new original interior. I'll get the seats reupholstered, stuff like that. It's going to need heat top seals, door seals, pretty much everything. This car looks really rough, but it's solid. It'll clean up. The paint on it is actually brand new. Well, brand new 15 years ago, so you know how that goes. I guess it has some pretty bad orange peel on it, so what I think I might try and do is maybe wet sand it and buff it, and if that doesn't work, I might just repaint it, So that shouldn't be too bad, and I might even put some nitrous on it. So I think that would be cool. That 350, I'm not exactly sure. The guy said it has a cam and some heads and stuff like that, headers, intake, the basic runaround. So it might be a good candidate for boost, might be a good candidate for nitrous. Really don't know. If I do nitrous, I'm not going to go big. I'm just going to do like a 50 shot, something safe. I just want to be able to drive it down the street and stuff like that. So I don't want to go too crazy. But if I do a turbo, I'll probably try to run about 10 pounds of boost on it. So I got a buddy, he's got a Charger RT, I think it's got like 400 horsepower, but I just want to make it a little bit faster, because that's what friends are for. Because you get in the cars and then you want them faster, so I'm just going to make mine a little bit faster than his, that way I force him to spend money on it. That's actually his Blazer right there. I put a brand new transmission in it, but I think the valve body's gummed up, so I had to figure out what's going on with that. I just haven't had time to deal with it yet. But that's the future upcoming project. Over here, we have a boat. This is not my boat. This is just a customer boat. I clean the carb and stuff like that. It runs great actually, but it hasn't ran in a few years, and somebody had told me that these water pumps are prone to failure. So I'm trying to figure out what year it is. I don't know if these castings tell me anything, but nobody knows what year this motor is. If I had to guess, judging by this mercury cover, I would assume it's a 90s model, maybe early 2000s or something like that. But I'm not entirely sure. So if you guys know what year this might be or something, maybe the AX 1440-06, maybe that. I'm not 100% sure. I tried looking it up. And I guess there's supposed to be a sticker like right here or something, but it doesn't appear to be there anymore. So I cleaned the carb and stuff, drained the gas. Still got to get that battery replaced. I got to get a new drain plug and stuff for it. It was just filled with garbage. But it runs fine. It doesn't have any issues. I just got to get that water pump for it. There's nothing special with that. I just did brakes on it. We don't really have any plans with it besides to keep it running. And then this, I don't know what's wrong with it. So the motor was blown. I had to put a new crank in it, new piston, basically an entire rebuild kit on it. And I did that and it ran great. And the problem is I did the one thing I didn't do was the valve seals. So I didn't do the valve seals. I rebuilt it. Then the next day I took it on like a 150-mile trip. I went up north and went on the trails, and we ended up going like 150 miles. Well, about halfway through that, the valve seals started leaking and it started burning a bunch of oil, like a lot of it. The whole thing, when I took it apart, the spring wasn't on it and it was just torn right down the middle. So that wasn't good. But I thought to myself, if I'm taking the head off and I'm doing valve seals anyways, it would be useless if I didn't put a cam in it. So I put new Ferrera valves in it. I put new valves in it, and I put a hot cam stage 2 in it. And I heard some good things. I heard some bad things about it. But ever since then, I could not get it running right. I couldn't get it. So I was looking online. Some people were saying you can run the stage 2 cam just fine. And some people were saying you can't run it without a stroker kit. And I don't have a stroker kit in it. It's stock stroke. But I just kind of rolled with it for a little bit. Then the stator went bad on it. Didn't end up actually being the stator. It ended up being a plug that actually melted. And there was just no connection to the stator, to the regulator rectifier, or to the battery. So that's why it ended up not working. But I was like, if I'm going to drain the oil and replace the stator, well, I might as well just put a big bore kit in it. Because I thought that the big bore kit would, I thought maybe the cam was too large, and no matter what I did, it was throwing too much fuel in it, and it was just running really rich. So I thought I could fix that problem by putting a big bore kit in it. And I put the big bore kit in it, and it really came to life. It's a lot faster, it's a lot peppier, everything on it's great, but when it warms up, it's got like a nasty spark knock. Like really bad. So I haven't been riding it, but when I adjust the carb, I can either get it way too rich or way too lean. I can either get it to the point to where it bogs and it doesn't have a spark knock, or I get it to where it runs great and it has a really bad spark knock. I cannot find any in between. So I don't know what's wrong with it. I checked the timing chain. It is tight. I can't think of anything that would make that knock other than a spark knock, because I just put this big bore kit in it. So I'm worried that I put something together wrong, but there's nothing to put together wrong. You have the timing chain, and I didn't touch anything on the head, so there's nothing wrong with that. I literally took the head off, put the new cylinder on, put the new piston on, and ran it. And I can't get it running right. So I might just try and go down to a stage 1 cam and see what that does. Maybe the people are right, maybe they're not compatible. So I don't know. I just hope I didn't cause any more damage than what I needed to. But yeah, that's all I really got on that thing. So moving on to this. So this is our biggest project we got going on right now. So it's a 1939 Ford Coupe Deluxe split window. I think fully restored. These cars run for, fully originally restored, they probably run from $80,000 to $100,000. And we were going back and forth about just putting this body back on this frame and making it original and selling it, and then buying a fiberglass body for this frame. But the body's here now and it's ready to go. We just got to cut out the firewall and get the cutout for the tubs. So we're kind of just invested now. But this is a Chubby chassis, custom chassis. This thing will not twist. It will not. I mean, you can tell just by looking at it. It's built. And then to go along with that, we just finished this beauty. And this right here is, oh, I'll take the whole thing off. This thing is just, I mean, look at it. You can't, I don't know. Got Edelbrock heads, intake, water pump, stuff like that. This is a 460 big block. I think it's a late 70s 460, early 70s, I'm not sure. It's not the one with low horsepower. There was ones that were like maybe breaking 200 horsepower or something like that. And this one factory is producing like 350 horsepower or 300 horsepower. So it was already big. It's bored over to a 470. And it was just, I mean, it was gunked up bad. It was mated to this transmission when we got it, and it was just so dirty and nasty. It completely transformed the entire motor. But this should be making about, I believe they said about 550 to 600 crank horsepower. So we're gonna go get that dynoed right after we get valve covers, and we're still going back and forth on whether we want a carb or whether we want EFI on it. So we're not 100% sure on that. But this chassis is ready to go. We got, one thing we need to get is it sat so long, we need new tie rod end boots, but we have brand new bushings all the way around. All the brake lines are ran, the steering rack's in. We even got the master and brake booster put in. Every single brake line is completely ran. It's all good. The rear end is completely good to go and ready. So we just need to bleed the brakes, and we need to get a transmission and throw this motor in, get a drive shaft made. And then once the motor and trans is in, we can finally start mounting the body on it. Because I mean, we can't do that because we don't know what we need to cut in this area, because we're pretty sure it's not going to fit. And we got some stuff to do. We got to fix some rust here. I mean, really, it's not bad. This car only has 10,000 miles on it. So really, it's pretty good. We're going to have to be cutting out a big majority of this section. Just cut the entire thing out. But our plans are to have this driving down the road by next year. So those are the kind of plans for that car. For this chassis, we just kind of plan on selling it. We got one guy that might be interested in it, but if not, then we're just going to go ahead and sell it. And one more project I'll work you over, or walk. I don't know. I'll walk over here and show you. So we have this truck. It's been in the family ever since it was new, and it's been great. It's always been the tow vehicle. It's always been the family vacation vehicle. It's always been the towing vehicle. It's always been the vacation vehicle. I don't know. I'm getting confused. But anyway, it is a 2001 Excursion, 7.3 liter diesel. It has about 230,000 miles on it, but there's one problem with it. It runs great. Everything on it actually works pretty good. It's got brand new stainless steel brake lines ran, new front calipers, rear calipers just seized. We got new ones coming for that. But it's reached that point in time where the rust is just pretty bad. I mean, for example, right here, just from shutting the door, the rust it's bad. So our plan for this thing is we want to do something big with it. So what we plan on doing, it's also got blown rear main, front main, and a rusted through oil pan. So that's cool. But our plan is to take this body off and go and pick up a 2015-ish F350 Mega Cab short bed, and then put that body on this frame. What we'd do is we'd just pull that body off, take the motor out, put all new seals in the motor, all new hoses, make sure everything's good and going to be reliable. And then once that's done, we'll just do all new suspension. We'll KBS the frame. It's a special paint for rusted stuff like that. So we'll paint the frame, all new suspension parts on it. And then once that's done, I believe the new body is almost a plug and play. There's a couple things to work out, like the dash vents and things like that, but a lot of electrical. There's a lot of electrical, but other than that, 2015, 2016, I'm not sure yet. F350 body should bolt right onto that frame. I think there's some stuff we're gonna have to do in the front end, but other than that, that's kind of our plan for this winter with that thing, because with a rusted through oil pan, it's not really being much use. I believe, I'm not sure if you can get the oil pan off without pulling the cab off and raising the motor a little bit or not. But if we need to do all this stuff with it, why are we going to waste our time just replacing the oil pan? So that's kind of the plans around here. So hoping to bring you guys along on the journey. And that's kind of all I got for you guys today. So I will talk to you guys later.